poem is called Transitions. It was written for the prompt Transitions, for Poems About on Blue Sky this week. Transitions, piling lies since the day I left the womb. Incomplete histories in a victor's idiom until I skipped school. Sacred scripts played without passion on dreamless nights. The first online newspapers looked like newspapers, but couldn't hold fish or chips. My phone's AI just told me the Navy once used goats for meat, milk, and eggs. Even when not slurring, the president uses his best words like individually wrapped cheese slices. I could take that plastic along with fishing lines to pad my nest and craft cocoons. Truth is a catatonic cicada consumed alive by juveniles who then feed velvet ants in their sleep. You and I, strapped to matching gurneys, the fun begins. In the centrifuge, brains splatter memories on our painted skulls like cordless drill spin art. Before incineration, the morgue encrypts seditious tissue slides for sadistic token collectors. The future is a tasteless asphyxiant, corrosive as a communion wafer, dipped in proprietary hypocrisy. Ego is fungible, like hamsters on a flywheel. I thought I was escaping the rat race, but I was only a sheep joining the lemmings. Okay, so transitions. I first thought of transition. My first thought was like, insects, cicadas, cocoons, butterfly, all this kind of things. And I just thought of layers being layered in lies. And so that's really where I took it. And so there's all these images of things that are layered and then stuff is spinning out of control, so, and then there's some puns, sacred scripts play without passion, pun on passion play, and then I know they don't use newspaper for fish and chips anymore, not for a long time, but first online newspapers, if you recall, they looked like a newspaper, like New York Times online. It looked like the New York Times. Now they make it more web friendly, right? It's the truth. My AI on the phone, I asked it why the Navy, mascot was a ram, and my phone told me that the Navy, for many years had used goats for meat, milk, and eggs. The president is always slurring, but he had that thing where I have the best words, right? And then to me, his words are, they're individual use. He uses a word and he throws it away like a Kraft cheese, slice, individually wrapped. I've used that before, and when I say fishing lines, it's with the PH. It's a pun on, fishing and the internet and so forth. And then, the cicada killer bug, cicada killer wasp often is consumed by other wasps, while it's in its own cocoon. And then the end of the poem is really, there's a Bitcoin bit, and then, the last stanza is really just a total overload of mixed metaphors. Hamsters on a flywheel. Generally you're on a hamster wheel or you're on a flywheel, right? Your hamster's on the flywheel. Everything is fungible in the mind, in our realities. So there you go. Transitions.